Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Dropkick Podcast. I am your host, Daniel. Today I'm joined with an actress, a comedian, the host of the Sorry Mom podcast alongside Sydney Mailer, the one and only Nikki Howard. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I like Nikki Howard pretty well. That might be my alter ego. When I'm all sassy. It's with a Q. What's up? Thanks for having me.
No, it's an honor. I found you out throughout. Do you remember the Sock Monkey Mike interview you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a buddy of mine, and I watched his interview with you, and I thought you were pretty cool, so I checked you out and like had a cool stuff going on. But with 2 months into 2021, how has this year been treating you compared to last year?
Oh, what a loaded question. Well, honest to God, last year I was just like full, like pandemic happening. I was like, all right, let's fucking go. Let's do. I can curse on this, right? Can I curse?
Yeah,
I'll say. Okay, great. You never know. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll try to be conscious if I can.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I was just like, we're gonna do it. We're doing it. Head down, work, no stopping me. Everyone was panicking. I was like, I will succeed. And then this year started. And I think I got to where everybody else was last year. So I woke up 2021 and was like, I'm emotionally and physically broken. Like, it was just like, I don't know what happened. Last year I was like, I don't know what all the fuss is about. I'm thriving. Like, I can be malleable in a pandemic. And then I just like woke up and I was like, no, I can't.
No, I think reality hit.
Yeah, it did. Like physically I was so tired I don't know. So I think I'm finally like just getting my bearings, just adjusting to the fact that like, all right, it's okay to feel your feelings about this. You could be a little off today. But other than that, I mean, besides everything that's going on, I feel good. You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure.
It's the same thing, but I'm now just like feeling about it.
I think like 2 months into it, people kind of expected things to change because it's like, oh, it's a new year, but like things are sort of the same. And that's kind of like fucking with people's minds. And it's just like, well, when is this entire thing gonna, like the whole pandemic, like when is it gonna end, So,
yeah, I don't know if I think this is just it now.
You think so?
I'm fine with, do we know? Times are unprecedented.
That's true.
The times are so unprecedented. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. That's all I hear. I turn on the news as if like I know what's happening, and all I hear are them just saying like it's unprecedented how precedented the times are unprecedented. No. I'm like, great. Well, I think after this amount of time of it being unprecedented, it's just precedented. It's been a year, so this might just be normal.
I mean, because I know things have been a little iffy and stuff.
Where are you based?
Toronto.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just like trying to gauge. Yeah. I mean, California is at the forefront of being, vocal and like, we're gonna beat this. Wear a mask no matter if you're, driving in your car alone, you have to wear a mask. It's very like, okay, well, that seems a little bit excessive if I'm by myself in my own vehicle. I'm not sure. I mean, that's not the rule, but it feels like that a lot. But I mean, I don't know. Does anyone know? How has it been as far as corona cases? Who knows? Because every day there's more. Like, it just seems like it's getting worse, but somehow also getting better. I don't really know what to believe anymore. I'm just like, I'm gonna follow the rules and hope I don't get it. If I do, I'll stay home and hopefully get better. At this point, like, it's like, I don't, that's really all you could do.
Like, what were like some of your fondest memories, like growing up, that you cherished the most?
Hard pass. No, fondest memories that are good. No, I have a really supportive mom. I love my mom and I are best friends. So, but like a lot of memories with her. nothing specific, really.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Mostly traumatic memories, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of had a rough childhood, but when I like, you know, got out of the house and like started going to therapy and stuff, man,
things got better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I just like had to be a human and like adjust and like live. But
absolutely.
Fondest. Oh, I do have a good memory. I went with my mom and my brother one summer to Jamaica. Like my mom was like, we're gonna go on like we didn't do like road trips or anything. But my mom had like a friend, I don't know how they met, but she was like, he's from Jamaica, we're gonna go to Jamaica with him and meet his wife, and like it's gonna be great, and like really like I want you guys to have like a cultural experience. And my brother and I are like, dope. And I think this was like the summer before I went to high school. And so we like we're driving, we had no idea, driving past like tourist Jamaica and like straight into Kingston, Jamaica, which is like not the place you want to be. No, it's not for like, people are like, why are you here? We don't even want to fuck with you. You're brave. You're brave to even be here.
No, but it's a hard place to be.
It was like, it was crazy. And oh my God, it was just, we drove past Sandals and we were all like, Mom, what? It's you missed it. And she was like, yeah. But yeah, that was pretty epic. My mom just found this out. Her friend took us to like a Jamaican strip club, which was tight. And also like I was like summer before high school. So middle school,
I mean,
where children go, Jamaican strip clubs. In Jamaica. It was very sad, but it encouraged me not to ever go down that path.
That's good. I feel like, no, I was like that early, like, you know, like eye-opening experience, like the real world, if this makes sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, childhood trauma will do that. It'll force you to grow up real quick and be like, all right, well, here's what's important.
That does it. Absolutely. Well, I was gonna ask, watching that interview with Sock Monkey Mike, you talked about like your passion with like, you know, but like, where did that passion like come from for stand-up? Like, how did that all come together?
Well, my parents are very sarcastic and very funny, and very little like, I don't know, sense of what, my mom is older, so she didn't really have like a sense of what's appropriate for children and stuff like that. So like, if it's a cartoon, you know, we're gonna watch it. So South Park was like huge staple, like it's a cartoon, it's for children. Crank Yankers. So that kind of like got me super into comedy. And I remember watching Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker as like, you know, at not even 10, I think. I was like very young. It should not have been watching it. And I didn't even get most of it, but I got some of it. And I just watching him, I just was like, I want to do what he is doing for everyone. Like he's brilliant. I want to be Chris Rock. And somehow my mom thought it would be like, she was like, oh, you're into reading. Cause I really wanted that book. Like he wrote a book and it essentially was just a transcript of the special. And God bless my mom. Like my child wants to read and like then getting me the book. Like, but I think that just like, you know, not necessarily even stand up, just any way to reach people that way. I'm like, however I can do it, I want to do it. And yeah.
No, I feel like if you can connect with somebody out there, like just, you know, like in the crowd or something, like they get it, you know what I mean? Because you're on that opposite side of the fence where you're trying to make something out of nothing. And it's very hard in those early years, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, you know, having the confidence and the knowing that you're going to fall and that it's okay. It's not like the end of the world. Everyone that is successful has fallen and gotten back up. So yeah,
absolutely. No, I was gonna ask. So wait, did you get your confidence from your mom?
Confidence. My false sense of confidence. No, I think it's just, you know, it's funny because I feel confident and then simultaneously not confident. I was just having this conversation. Because I'll be like, I'm going to do this sketch and like put it out there and I'm confident about it. Mm-hmm. And then like someone will like, Jimmy from like Idaho with like no picture and 6 followers. You're not fucking funny. Go kill yourself. And I'm like, what? Like,
you tried. Yeah.
It's so weird. So, I mean, I think it's just, I think passion is overconfidence. Like my passion to do this is so strong. Absolutely. That like I think it supersedes my my insecurities, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so too. Like with everything, like even with this podcast, like I got so much hate and shit, and I'm like, I'm just trying to like do my job.
Yeah, it's so silly because it's like, I'm not like, when you do something like this, your intentions they're always good. They're always like, I want to entertain people. Like, I want to, I want to just like make someone laugh or inform someone or whatever it is. And it's so interesting to like, to have people, it's actually kind of funny when you like, when you really think after like whatever insecurity of like someone being like, you're go fucking kill you. It's like, I'm not saying anything hateful. Like literally this could not be a more, I might as well just be joking about, sand at this point. And like, there's always gonna be someone that is gonna just say something, just whatever it is to rile you up, to get your attention. That's my favorite, is like people are like, they just want attention. It's like, I'll make a point to like respond only to people who are positive and then just not, because I think the trap is to like, really fuck you.
Yeah, but like, and then they get back at you and then just
like, I'd like to just encourage the positive reinforcement. I think that it's been more.
No, I think that's what we kind of need, like especially at time right now, especially like people are just still like negative about things right now, and people are still kind of like, like you can be positive, but it's still very hard to change minds, I guess, in a society like, you know what I mean?
I think it's also like, you know what? I'm not trying to make I don't want to make a political statement. I don't want to like, I just want to make anyone smile. Like if I could just, I don't care, like whatever it is, like I'm just going to stay out of it. And then like here, and I don't want to, because it's not my place. I think it's so interesting to like see so many people, I don't know, especially when all of the political stuff was going on, almost like people with a big following almost bash other people. I get it to a certain point when you believe in something, but it's also like, I don't think people understand the power that they have over other people. I don't know.
It's very hard. Like you don't know what side of the fence you're gonna land on, because you just kind of don't want to be part of it, but you're also like, hey, like I support this or I don't, but it's like I don't have to put it on social media.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like my beliefs are my beliefs. Like, everybody, that's the beauty of living in America, or I mean, I don't know, Canada, but it's a free country, and it's like, we like, that's your right, and like I'm not gonna bash someone for not sharing their political views, and I'm not gonna bash them for sharing it. It's when it gets negative and like accusatory, it's just kind of like, okay, so maybe pump the brakes.
No, absolutely. But like switching gears and stuff, I did want to talk about, you started acting in your early career. Is that what point you wanted to pursue it as a career and do, segues for Xbox or commercial work for Sprite? Like, at what point did it hit you? Like, you know what I mean?
That I wanted to do it. It hit me when I was like in the 5th grade and was like, this is what I want to do. I was like, that's just not even, I was like, this is what I want to do. I had a very strange, I don't know, a realism. Like I knew I wanted to do it, and I knew it wasn't going to be like, okay, so like, it's just going to happen. I remember specifically it was very calculated of like, okay, well, I want to do this. So I went to a performing arts middle school that you like audition for, whatever. And then in high school, I went to like a normal high school and I started modeling. And I remember thinking like, okay, well, if I can just get my portfolio up, I'll go to acting school, and then I'll be able to make money modeling because I already have a portfolio. And then while I'm in New York, I can, do that and audition. And I think modeling will be a really good segue into commercial work. And so I think from there, I'll be able to have enough credit. It was very like weirdly calculated for someone that young, but I knew it was like not going to be an easy, I was in line and Quentin Tarantino was like perfect for this. So, crazily enough, it kind of worked that way where, modeling turned to commercial stuff and commercial stuff turned to like stuff. And, just kind of in the process of all of that with the new age of social media and all of like the amazing, outlets, and then trying to make my own stuff that I want to do, because the one thing I did not foresee is that though I have had opportunities to act and do it, I love that the roles that I wanted were not the roles I was getting as far as like comedic stuff. So I, you then have to like kind of put out, here's all the stuff I can, like, here's comedic stuff, like, and hope that attracts someone who's like, oh, wow, so it's definitely it's been a process, but, it's slowly but surely.
Just gotta keep rolling with it. Yeah, I think as given those cards at such a young age, like you just gotta deal with the cards that you're given. You know what I mean? Because there's not many opportunities out there unless you make those opportunities count. And you did that. Like you made the most out of what you could, and now you're killing it. Like on Instagram, like you know what I mean. So like congrats to you. But
thanks, and congrats to you. I mean, seriously, you're doing it too. It's like so many people are like, I want to start a podcast, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then they never do it. And you're doing it. So kudos.
No, I'm just saying I try.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, that's what it takes. You have to try. Like, if you like, I don't know. It's people ask me all the time, like, how's your podcast with Sydney? And I'm like, it's great. And they're like, yeah, like what, what's this like? Well, I'm like, we're even if no one listens to it, like we're still gonna keep doing it. Like
you
it's
guys
not
are still having a blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as as long as you're having fun. Absolutely. Yeah. As long as you're having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing, then I think you're in it for the longevity. But I think if you're feeling burnt out and you listen to like your mind and stuff, you're like, hey, like maybe this isn't the best idea. And you kind of like, you know what I mean? You listen to yourself. And if you need a break, then take a break. Fuck it. Because I think those breaks really count. And when you take those breaks, you can reflect in those breaks and be like, maybe this is, because there's always time to improve, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Absolutely. But like, who were some of your role models growing up? I know Chris Rock was one.
Love him so much. Who were my role models? My mom. She's very funny. Yeah. But I'm trying to think like in Leslie Mann. I love her so much. I just like her and Big Daddy. I'm just like, okay, I just want to be you. She's so funny. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know if I had like, she was like my big one, but I don't know if I had anybody that I specifically was like, okay, this. I remember like Christina Applegate, all of those really funny females who like, but
yeah,
that's more of like, I want to emulate that. I don't know. Just in stand-up, I think people do that a lot until they come into their own. Like they'll see like a comic and be like, this is what I want. And then just like, when they first start out, it's like, all right.
It nearly hits up.
Find your own way. But yeah.
I heard, I had a comedian on the podcast as well, but he talked about like, there's like some political stuff and like the comedy, like, like that whole essence.
As far as like who gets stage time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so funny. Everything is politicized.
Oh, it is.
Like, even acting, like, end of the day, you can give the best audition you want, but like, if someone's kid is like, I want to do it, they're gonna get the role. Like,
that's
it's
true,
just not even. So yeah, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I don't know. That's my thought.
I mean, that makes sense. But I was gonna ask, like, how is it like doing commercial work for Xbox and Sprite that I mentioned earlier?
It was good. That stuff. God, that was when I was living in New York. Sprite. Actually, I was living here. It's good. I mean, every time I get a job like that, I'm like, this is so. Like, it's still like surreal to me that like this is, you know, I get to do this, and it's so funny because I have a lot of friends who are like on shows and stuff, and they're like, I would never do commercial work, and I still think it's like so fucking cool. You know, it's fun. You get to just
it is cool, yeah.
Silly and like this is my job. Like, what a joke. Like, but yeah, I mean, it was really awesome. The Sprite job, that was a print job. That was in New York actually, so I flew to New York and shot it, and it was like I was there for like I don't know a day and a half, and I came back. But yeah, I mean it's always fun. It's always fun. I love commercials. I love anything where I get to just, this is my job for the day, and I get to just
be yourself. Yeah.
Just have fun. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But like, I think recently, like people, like especially this year, like on Twitter, I don't know if you like keep up with Twitter and stuff, but like people have been manifesting more than usual. Like I've been seeing so many angel numbers. Like I don't know why, but I've just been seeing them, and it's weird. But like, do you personally believe in manifestation?
You know, it's so funny that you say that. I do. This is so lame. Every morning, it's not lame. You'll appreciate it if you're into manifestation. But every morning, I take like 45 minutes and I make a list of like 10 things that I'm grateful for. And some of them are like things that happen, like just like whatever. It'll be like, I'm grateful for my fingers because I can type this list, or, you know, then manifesting like I'm grateful that today is really productive or whatever it is. It starts and kind of just like putting that out there into the universe. But yeah, I do. I mean, it's like, fuck, even if it doesn't work, like it's still going to make you feel good and feel like, oh wow, my life is like, you know, look outside, you got trees and birds and this is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so.
No, I think that's a good way to look at it. But I think people take the little things for granted, like just even going to hang out with our friends, and we can't even do that as much, you know what I mean? Or like the weather's so nice in California, like, you know what I mean? Like compared to here right now, like it's like snowing outside my window right now. So
or Texas, I mean, like fuck.
Yeah, for Texas. Look at that. So I mean, just have to look at the bigger picture and be like, listen, like I have, you know, a roof under to live and like a nice bed to sleep on, and like just, you know, plate of food. Like the little things matter in life, and I feel like when people sometimes take that for granted, and like it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, it's especially like career-wise. I'll catch myself sometimes being hard on myself and being like, you know, whatever it is, and then to like stop in the middle of it and say like, okay, but like look at all the things that you like, be grateful for the things that you have and the opportunities to like, you know, and all of the resources, like, you know, you can always just keep making stuff. I think it's so easy to like get defeated. But yeah, I don't know.
It's hard. I feel like every time I do one of these interviews, I start like getting sad because I'm like, did I deliver to the potential I had in my head? Or because you're always your worst critic, you know what I mean? And it's always like that thing, like you mentioned, like it could be that one person who just sticks out in the comment section and he's like, you know, like, why did you make that? And that like kind of screws with your head. But
it messes with you hard.
No, it does. And I feel like if you're just like a little too loose on yourself, then it's like, you know, am I doing what I need to be doing? Because it's all exactly, you always have these questions, so it's very hard. But like, you know, absolutely.
At a certain point, you gotta like enjoy life for a little bit. I'm learning to realize that this year. This is my year of like, okay, because my biggest fear is am I not doing enough?
Yeah.
And by virtue of that being a driving force, I'm only working, not enjoying life. And like, then, you know, it doesn't matter if you work 24/7, if you wake up and you're finally successful and you look around and you're just like alone, like, oh, what happened to the last 20 years of my life? It's not very fulfilling. So I'm trying to like find the balance of like, okay, you can still work hard and like get everything you want, but also like enjoy your life a little bit. And, you know,
that's such a good way to put it. But like, I feel like sometimes people just focus on that one problem and it just kind of eats them up alive. And it's like, but like looking back on it, it's like, you know, it wasn't the worst thing. Like you made it seem like it was bigger than it really was. Oh, yeah. And like I feel like especially with comedians, like you have like one of my utmost respect, because I can't do that. Like I hate speaking, and like I don't like speaking, and considering I have a podcast, like it's super weird, right? Yeah. But like I don't know, like going up on stage and like trying to make people laugh, like that is fucking hard.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about like which is kind of more brutal as far as like, I don't know, negative feedback that you could get, like if I post a sketch or if I'm on stage, you know, which is what has the most potential to get more hate. And I really think in some ways, if being on social media and posting something on social media, because, you know, people have the veil of their screen in front of them and they can just say whatever they want. Whereas like if you go on stage and people don't like your jokes, 9 times out of 10, unless you're being like racist or, you know, incredibly offensive, if you tell a bad joke, you're really not going to get booed off stage. You're just going to like, I mean, in my opinion, I'm also not playing but if I tell a joke that's, I think is going to kill and it doesn't land, like it's just silent, you know, you kind of get the hint, like, okay, that one didn't work, but you know, people are just like, you know, shots fired on the internet. It's right. Just be merciless.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you know what I mean? But it's very, I feel like the mental preparation that comes with being like doing stand-up, like it must be hard.
I have crippling anxiety every time I get on stage.
How do you like deal with that?
I just feel anxious. I wish I knew. Hopefully one day I'll be able to I think it's just a matter of just getting used to it, you know, just really getting used to it. And I don't know how long that takes. Unfortunately, before the pandemic, I was finally starting to ease into a little bit more, but you know, now it hit, and I think once mics open back up, I kind of have to start the process all over again, which is fine. But I think that goes for anything. When you care about something, I think you get anxious about doing it.
Absolutely.
You get anxious before you do a podcast because you care about it, you know? And I think that, you know, it's good if you can manage it.
No, absolutely. I think if you just come up with coping mechanisms, and you know what I mean? It's very hard. Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll be I'll be reading through my my notes and stuff, and I'm like, yo, if I don't hit these, are the people gonna care? It's so all this pressure.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you said that, because you know, if I'm rehearsing a set in my head over and over again, and I go out there and I mess something up, I'm I think my boyfriend said this to me once. He's like, nobody knows if you mess it up, if you don't hit that joke, because you know, they don't have the So just go. If you fuck it up, it's fun. No one's gonna know.
Just roll with it.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I think you're right about that.
No. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's just reminding yourself, okay, have fun, and also if this doesn't go well, it's really not gonna be the end of the world.
Not the end of the world. Yeah.
Realistically. Yeah.
No, that's such a great way to put it. But I was gonna ask, you know, with starting your career, what's one thing you wish you had known before you began? Yes. If you could tell your younger self right now, hey, one piece of advice you'd get, what would you say?
Start making stuff earlier.
I think I can relate to that.
Do you know what I mean? It's so funny because it's hard. Then again, I don't know, because if I didn't have a good sense of timing, or you know, the ability to edit or whatever it was, or the software even that at the time wasn't even as good. And now I'm thinking God, you know, can you imagine what I would have had the most cringy videos so I don't know. I mean, what piece of advice? Just just fucking have fun, dude.
Just have fun.
Have more fun.
Absolutely. I think if you're having fun, then you're gonna put your best effort. Because if you're not, then it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? You
it also shows, you know.
Yeah. But it's hard because you gotta just roll with the stones and see where you land. Because one day, this might not even be a thing. Like this podcast can fucking die for all I know. But like the fact that like, you can still make it into something and create magic and just keep rolling with it. It's grit though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how was that transition from, living with your mom to living on your own? Like, because I know you talked about that in various interviews. I wanted to touch base on that.
How was it? I was so ready. I was ready to not live at home like freshman year of high school. I was like, get me out of this city. I don't need to know who invented the printing press. None of it is going to help me with what I want to do. I don't need math. I'm going to pay someone 10%. They can do my math. It's fine. That was my attitude, which was like not very good. But I mean, I never was like a dick. I was just like, looked at all my teachers and was like, you guys know, like, I'm not
putting my foot.
But I'm just not, I know I didn't do well. It's just like, I'm fine with it. We're all on the same page. I graduated and I went to New York right away. I didn't like go to traditional college. I went to an acting conservatory, and I mean, I wasn't terrified. I felt excited,
Yeah, for sure.
It was like just, I don't know. It was pretty good. I was pretty stoked on it.
No, so I think once you get to just like spread your wings and just kind of do what you've been wanting to do for a while, but not given the right opportunity. I think it's pretty cool. Like just, space of mind just to be like, okay, like this is what I got to do. I got to be laser focused and just kill it.
Yeah, for sure.
What were some like challenges that came with that transition, I guess?
I would say just trying to have a job that provided me enough income to afford rent while also like still being able to go on auditions and like, I don't know, like, living in New York City, like when you're 19 and super poor, it's not like an ideal. It's great because you like get the hustle, but it's just, I mean, it's really challenging.
No, absolutely.
Once you like live in, like a 3-bedroom with 5 girls, and like it's just like you're sharing a bed for 3 years just so like, you want to do, and then you move to someplace like California where you can like drive and like you have space, and it's so fun because even in California people like there's it's so the quality, it's I don't know, like the quality of life you can have anywhere other than New York City for like the same amount of money is really, you really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think like I've never been to New York personally, but from like hearing it from other people's experiences, like it's such a great place to visit, but like I would never live there because of just like absolutely like I would never live there because just like how expensive like the house or an apartment, like there's so much like it's crazy expensive, but like like so wait, you moved there when you were 19?
That sounds about right. I don't know, is it? I might have been 20. Trying to think.
That's crazy.
I might have been 20, yeah, that sounds about right.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I know. It was weird. I remember being like working and my friends from high school were still in college. I'm like, oh, you guys like aren't paying like, rent yet. You're like still living in a dorm and shit. That's weird. I don't know.
It must be hard.
It was cool though. I was like, oh, I have a head start.
No, I think a lot of people, they would probably go to post-secondary and like go to college, university, or you know what I mean. But like the fact that you took that risk and just ran with it, it's pretty cool because like I don't personally like think about going to college or whatever, but I'm kind of in that same boat where it's like I'm gonna take a gap year, figure some shit out, do what I need to do. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't take like that jump, and it's very, you know, it's hard.
Yeah, well, especially now, like the traditional way of like you graduate, you go to college, and like the job in like the industries are like it's almost like if you know what you want to do, you might as well just go to a trade school and learn that. If it's not something that requires you go to like a 4-year university, like just do that and you'll be able to get started, you know? So I think things are changing in that sense, but I mean, there's always going to be, you know, jobs that need a college degree.
100%,
so here's hoping I don't have to get one.
Don't we all? But I was going to ask, like, what was like your biggest failure from like that time period? And like, what did you learn from it, I guess, till, you know, that shaped and made you the person you are today?
My biggest failure? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there were like a lot of things in the moment that I was like, this sucks. But I think all of that like kind of makes you who you are. You know, I can't think of one specific thing that was like, you know, that one time that blah, blah, blah. But it's like everything happened so that I could get here. So, you know, that's just how I think of it. So I wouldn't like take any of it back because then I wouldn't be here. Just it's like the butterfly effect, you know. Just
no, that's so true.
Yeah,
I think everything.
You have to think like that, you know. Otherwise, you're gonna just go absolutely nuts and talk yourself out of doing anything.
No, for sure. I think everything does happen for a reason. Like, I don't want to say like, if this pandemic didn't happen, I wouldn't have the podcast because I wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't sit on my ass and like be like, oh, what do I got to do? But like, I'm kind of grateful because for the pandemic, because in a way, like I have something to like keep working at and get better at and just, you know what I mean? Like keep improving. And like, that's what it's all about. But like, absolutely. But I was going to ask, like, you talked about, you know, having like a rough childhood and stuff, but like, has there been a time where you really struggled with mental health and like, you know, what advice would you give to people, I guess, struggling? Because I think this pandemic really hit people in a sense.
Yeah.
Their mental health.
What would I say? You know, it's so funny because it's so easy to say, you could just go talk to someone. But, you know, when you're in that space of like, in a really dark headspace, the last thing you want to do is ever talk to someone. But I think just if you can manage to at least say something to someone, even just a little bit to someone that you care about and that knows you, I think you'll be surprised as to how receptive people will be to helping you. Because I think it's so easy to feel so alone, and when you're in that space, and you feel like no one cares about you, because it's hard to care about yourself. And so I think that if you just give someone the chance to help you, you'll be blown away at the response you'll get, you know? And I just think, of course, go talk to someone if you can, if you're like not that far gone. But I know personally I've been in a space where I'm like, I don't like, no, I'm not talking to anyone. So, you know, I don't know. That's my advice.
It's hard. No, I don't even blame you. Like, it's really hard because I think when you're in that headspace, like, you don't want to like associate with anybody at that point. You just kind of want to be in your own bubble and just, you know what I mean? Just kind of feel sad for a little bit and then just kind of like work your way to like just gaining anything. You know what I mean? It's very hard.
And I mean, just remember that like you're not alone. Like so many people are going through this, and like, you know, not everybody is talking about it and saying like, oh yeah, because everyone wants to be fine because there's a, you know, a societal norm that we all feel like we need to live by if we're not like super happy and like, you know, like, oh, here I am doing all of this. And like, nobody's going to sit there and be like, I'm severely depressed. You know, that's not good content, but like so many more people than you think are dealing with what you're dealing with. So I think it's important to find comfort. And there's so many people that have overcome it. And like, it's possible, you know? So I don't know.
No, I think that's such a good way to put it. Because like, I think like, yes, we're in a fucking pandemic, but like, you gotta look at the bigger picture. Like when this ends, like people are going to be more like, you know, hopefully more positive, I guess. Because, you know, if anything, this pandemic has like taught people, it's like to be like, you know, more fucking grateful, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I hope so. Or just like, it's either done that or the complete fucking opposite. People are like super grateful or like fuck everyone. You know what I mean? It's, you want one end or the other. So I don't know, hopefully those people come around.
No, I hope so. But like, I did want to like ask, like, you and Sydney Miller, like, how did that like podcast come together? Because you guys have some great episodes. I went back and like listened to a couple, and you guys are really funny and stuff.
Thank you. How did that start? So Sid and I, there was a while when we were pre-pandemic, traveling a lot for work together, and like we just have a good banter together. And a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you should have a show," and we'd be like, "Yeah, that'd be so fun." And then like 2 years later, people were still saying that, and we're like, "Okay, we should just fucking start one," because clearly nobody wants to give us a show. We're gonna have to make our own. So we just kind of did it. I mean, she lives like 2 hours away, and I was like, I will run this shit. I'll figure out how to do all of it. Post-production, I'll figure it all out. You just got to promise that you're going to just drive here once a week and show up. That's your job. Drive the 2 hours. And she's like, all right. And so here we are.
That makes sense to me. Absolutely. What, like, has there been a time where you guys are like, is this something that I don't want to do anymore? Like, have you fallen out of that? Like,
no, you know, I think sometimes it can get really stressful for me, just because I am doing like the post-production stuff, and like a lot of things will come up, or, you know, like work-wise, or I'm kind of all over the place as far as what I'm doing. So it'll be like, you have to audition, you got to finish this edit, you're filming tomorrow, you got to edit the podcast. Like, and then it's also Sydney's availability too, because like, you know, if she can't do a Monday, then like, I'm not going to be like, you fucking better. Like, I got to figure it out. So sometimes it can be overwhelming, and stressful, but never have I been like, I don't, there's days when I'm like, I don't really feel like talking, but it always makes me feel better after I do.
No, I think it's like a form of like just, you know, escaping for a little bit, whether it's through podcasting or like, you know, anything. Because I think if you find that escape to just kind of like go away for a little bit, like in your mind, then it's so peaceful at the end. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
For sure. But like, what's some of your favorite episodes you guys recorded together?
I always like when my mom comes on. Hopefully she can get on a flight soon and hop over here. I don't know. I mean, like, it's so funny because we'll do it and then I don't listen really ever to them. I just like, I do the post-production. Sydney will listen to them, so she could probably give you a better answer, but by the time I edit the entire thing and like just get it all fucking done, I'm just so over the goddamn episode. I'm like, just put it out there and that's it. But yeah, we're about to go film one right now, so you never know. Maybe it'll be my favorite.
No, absolutely. It's really hard, like when you're editing, because like you gotta just play it over and over until you get that. You know what I mean? It's very hard. But I did want to ask one final question. What is the next chapter for Nikki Howard?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and like you never know what thing is gonna lead to something else. So I guess just keep. Weekly sketches are coming out and podcasts and whatever. So I don't know. I really don't know, but God, I hope it's good.
No, it should be. I mean, if you put in the work, you know, of course.
Yeah.
So, keep the ball rolling. But where can we find you on social media?
I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Nikki_Howard, and then YouTube is Nikki Howard. Facebook, Nikki Alexis Howard. Trying to get my Facebook following up. I'm just trying to get. You can find me anywhere. Just like fucking good. Just type my name in. You'll find something.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
Thank you so much.